Am I wrong for dumping my husband when he was at his poorest? I dumped Orion Gray when he was at his poorest. I even aborted the child we had together in the blink of an eye. I got together with a rich man. After that, Orion went abroad in anger and sadness. When 2 short years, he turned into the CEO of a publicly listed company. When he came back to the country, he swore that he would exact his revenge on me. However, my mother sent a disfigured corpse to his house and asked him to restore it to its original state. He did not know that it was the corpse of the person he hated the most. Me, the day Orion Gray returned to the country, I died in bed at home. I had become so dark and skinny that I was completely unrecognizable. My mother held my shriveled hand as she sobbed uncontrollably. Summer Richards, my poor daughter, you always cared about your appearance. Don't worry. I will make sure that you look beautiful when we bury you. My eyes were welling up. I wanted to wipe the tears from my mother's face, but I had turned into a spirit. I also felt regretful. I had wanted to see Orion one last time, so I had tried my best to stay alive until he returned to the country. However, I died in my sleep last night. My mother wrapped me in a blanket just as she did when I was younger. Then she placed me in a trolley. Her eyes were swollen from all her sobbing. Summer, I am going to get you the best mortician to restore your beauty, she murmured while she pushed me outside. As we passed by the city hall, we saw a black Maybach parking right in front of it. The car had a really familiar looking number plate. I was stunned because I would never forget its owner. The number plate belonged to the first car that Orion and I had bought. At that time, we were still very poor. We could only buy a rundown van with the little money that we had. Despite that, we were incredibly happy to have our own car. As we were bidding for a number plate, we saw this meaningful combination. The letter S represented my name, Summer, and the numbers 1997 represented the year I was born. The car door opened and a man in a black suit stepped out. Right then my heart stirred. It really was my ex-boyfriend, Orion. We were together for 5 years. I had not seen him in 2 years and he looked more mature. He walked up to the front passenger seat and carefully helped a pregnant young woman out of the car. Are you still feeling unwell? Do you want me to get you a bottle of water? He looked at her with concern and love. My heart dropped. He already had someone new by his side and apparently a child too. How wonderful when it looked like they were about to get married at the city hall. I did not know why the scene upset me so much, since I had expected this. Orion, is that you? My mother asked in a trembling voice. Orion turned around and snorted when he saw my mother. I didn't even have to look for you to exact my revenge. You showed up all by yourself. Where's Summer? When my mother heard this, she started to stutter. Summer, she's won. I'd previously told her not to inform Orion about what happened to me. I was hoping that she would be able to keep her mouth shut, otherwise all my efforts would be wasted. Summer's at work, my mother finally said. Then she turned back and pulled the blanket tighter around me to hide my face. Ha, didn't she marry a rich man? Why is she still working? Orion said sarcastically. Or did that rich man abandon her because she had an abortion before? So it was no surprise that he was bad-mouthing me like this. My mother's face turned pale. Please say rich say that about Summer. She didn't.